Hi, I want to make this something of a formal introduction. My name is Shibbler. I'm a musician and I write and record all of my music in my car. Now, it's not a big car. I mean, it's in the name, it's a Mini. But I'm working with what I've got, and that's what this video is going to be about. I'm going to title this video something dramatic, like my manifesto or something like that. But what I want this video to do is act as a sort of just an introduction to me and my goals as a musician and a content creator on YouTube. What I want to convey and achieve with not only the music I'm making itself, but everything around it in terms of how I present it and how I present myself and showcasing the process. I kind of want this video to be for people who maybe this is the first video seeing by me, or people who don't know me personally in real life and have just seen some of my singing videos, just me singing my original songs, and just want to know a bit more what I'm about and why all my videos are outside and in my car and why I don't just fucking go inside. This is a video that I've wanted to make basically since I started making YouTube videos as a sort of vehicle to deliver my personality and my songs and sort of build up something to go along with my music. I've had a lot of time to think about like why I'm actually doing it and what my goals are with my YouTube channel. And after thinking about that for quite a long time, I've settled on two words: honesty and sincerity. Now, don't get me wrong. I understand that those sound like the sort of, I don't know, classroom values of a primary school class, right? But I hope in this video to be able to, you know, adequately explain what I mean by that and how that applies to me and my goals as a musician and content creator. So I think the best place to start is my utter disdain for this sort of esoteric and mysterious ethos that a lot of upcoming musicians seem to be propping themselves up on. There's a car pulling up right now. You alright, mate? No, no, it's totally fine. I'll chop it up anyway. It's no stress.
What are you doing? Your music, you say, is it?
Yeah, I just got like I'm just making like YouTube videos to go along with like uh I'm a musician and I'm kind of like making videos online to sort of back it up and just trying to promote myself. Do you know what I mean? So are you a professional photographer then,
No,
or
I'm
just hobbyist?
obvious, but I'm a photography judge as well.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Not to be cheeky. Would you mind taking some photos of me if you've got a lens for it? Just because I've actually like been looking for like someone to just get some photos of me, so just for my so I can post like for my music stuff. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
Would that be all right?
yeah. I would think no.
Thank you very much.
Because it's what I
So that was very lovely. I just met a really nice man named Dwayne, who's a hobbyist photographer, and he just came out here today to take some photos of the marsh and the horses, and this is a fucking piss take. Let me finish that thought that I was trying to get across before I even acknowledge this. I just met a very nice man. His name was Dwayne. He came out here to take some photos. He's a hobbyist photographer, and I asked if he could take some photos of me for I don't know, music stuff, just to have some high quality photos of me. And he very kindly said yeah. And he could see I was recording a video, and so I told him I had a YouTube channel and music, whatever, and he said he'll check it out. So Dwayne, if you're watching this, thank you very much. Now, I said I didn't want to be referring back to other videos, but I've recorded tried to record 4 videos outside. 2 of those videos, this being the second one, has broken a microphone. I'm fucking pissed. For context, this is like the Bluetooth connector. I plug it into my phone and the microphone connects to it. I didn't want any shenanigans today. I wanted this video to be concise and to the point. But I guess if this is an introduction to me and the stuff that I do, this is fitting, because this kind of shit always happens. There's always some bullshit like this pops up, or I get distracted on some side quests like Dwayne when he was taking my photos. This happens all the fucking time. This is part of the joys of
being out and about to record, it makes things a lot more interesting. And I suppose this can end up being a good example of what I was trying to move on to probably minutes ago in the video now. Let's try and get this back on track. I just finished the intro and I was saying the best honesty and sincerity. Those are the goals, right? And I said the best place to start was probably with my disdain for the whole esoteric and mysterious ethos that a lot of artists, new artists, upcoming artists, seem to be operating under these days. The kind of attitude to music promotion that says, I'm going to give you, the listener, as little as possible, 5-word Instagram captions, seemingly random, vague imagery, and distorted photos of myself and stuff like that. Give you as little as possible, so that makes you intrigued and want to stick around and figure it out. Now, me as a listener, I don't care. I've seen it before. I'm not trying to figure out your shtick when there's 100 other guys to figure out what their little weird things going on. I don't give a shit, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm not bashing anybody who does it, because there is a market for that, and there are people who like that kind of thing. There are music listeners who think that kind of stuff is cool. So I'm not trying to be a hater, but I'm just trying to say that even though it does work a lot of the time, it's really not for me. That kind of stuff doesn't come natural to me. I'm a pretty open book, and I think with what you gain in intrigue, you lack in personality. And I don't like how that kind of attitude sort of makes the music feel like more of a product and gatekeeps the process. And what I mean by it makes it feel like a product is I at least find personally that when you, especially artists who do adopt that sort of very an image that's very purposeful and crafted, which I don't want to use it like negatively, because if it works for you, it works for you. But I just find that when you have an image like that, where the only things that you put out and the only way that people can perceive you is these very highly edited images and very intentionally worded social media posts, it kind of makes it all feel like a product. Like the only thing that's getting to the people is the most refined and the most produced stuff, and that's not not in terms of the music, but just the whole package, right? Your image, the way you put yourself forward, and I suppose that may not sound like a bad thing, and it isn't. But to me, as an artist and as a creative, the process is one of the most interesting parts of any creative endeavor. And that's why I'm probably going to leave all the stuff that just happened in the video, because the process is the art at the end of the day. And the way that I present myself in my videos and the way that I edit my videos, I want to reflect my goals and my intentions with my music. When I was a kid growing up watching YouTube videos, it was a platform for just anybody to be creative and share anything that they wanted to. YouTube videos weren't, or were far less of a source of income for the creators. YouTube was just a platform to share things with people, and it was wonderful because there was so much raw creativity, content like sketch comedies that you don't get anymore, because these days YouTube incentivizes creators to put out long videos and chop them up with ads. Basically anything that keeps people on the platform. And obviously the incentives for creators to make money on the platform sort of poison the well of creativity. And again, I'm not trying to be judgy or hateful. There's nothing wrong with putting out longer videos or sort of tailoring your videos a little bit so that the algorithm will more likely push them out to more people. But it has undoubtedly changed the way that people make YouTube videos. And whether you're a musician or a YouTuber, there's no doubt that YouTube videos having a far higher production value than they did 10 years ago impacts the way that you would make things. And what I mean by that, right, is it's obvious what I mean by that in relation to YouTubers, but the way that it can affect you if you're a musician is that, say you're watching YouTube and a video pops up and somebody's playing an original song that they wrote in their bedroom, and it's not just them playing an original song. They've got like a sort of professional setup. They've got a microphone. They've got lighting. They've got it all right, and maybe they've even got an editor. Even though video creation may never have interested you, it makes you feel like you're so far below where everybody else is. And don't get me wrong, I'm not delusional enough to think that I'm the only person out there who's trying to do this, who's trying to make this valiant change on YouTube. No, there's plenty of people out there who just record themselves playing their guitar. Their videos aren't even edited like mine are, and just chuck it on YouTube. But the algorithm doesn't promote that kind of stuff. The algorithm promotes the super high production value, clickbaity titled, fastly edited, strategically uploaded videos. And again, I'm not trying to be judgy at all to anybody who maybe makes content that sort of fits the description that I was just saying, because at the end of the day, I upload on YouTube too, and I have to play the game to some degree. I upload at 5 p.m. every Sunday. It's a commitment I made to myself because I really do want to have a good go at this thing, and I'm committed to building up a personality around my music. But I'm also well aware that if you upload a YouTube video at the same time, on the same day, every week, and you tell people that that's what you're doing, then people will flood to your channel all at the same time every week. And the algorithm notices that and then boosts those videos at those times. But I also don't want to give off the impression, right, that I'm only uploading once a week because it's good for analytics, right? I'm doing it because it's fun and I like it and I have things to share. And even though I can't afford a super high quality editing software, nor do I have the money to invest in a PC that could run super high quality editing software, I still have a desire to create. I have songs that I want to share. I think in the age of the internet, it's kind of pointless trying to make it on just your music alone. It's never been less true that if your music's good, people will find you, because it's just not the case. For me, the best way that I think I can go about delivering my music to people is to be a person as well. And I don't want that person to be a character either. I understand why characters are important in music. It's so you don't get yourself confused with your music, because that can happen. When the person you are when you make music and the person you are when you wash the dishes become one, that's not good. And that's why people have characters, because I think when you're making music, you're really letting your ego out of its cage and just letting it run free and kind of take over you a little bit to give you the inspiration to put words down on a page. But then when you put down the guitar, when you save the Logic file and close it, that's when you need to put your ego back in the box. And some artists don't know how to do that, and then they kind of become their music, which is bad. And that's why characters exist. It's why David Bowie became Ziggy Stardust, right? And listen, that's a lot of waffle, right, that I've just done there. But to tie all that up in a little bit of a bow, the goal with the YouTube stuff is to show you that I'm a person. I'm not a character, and I'm not just like some vague entity that just spawns in and provides you with entertainment every now and then. And the reason I think that's valuable, I think it's mainly valuable to other musicians, is just to remind you that not everybody's got a stylist, not everybody's a graphic designer, not everybody went to film school and knows how to use the name of the software is escaping me now, but the fucking video editing one that everybody uses. Even though it's not explicitly stated a lot, there's really an expectation from independent musicians and artists that you have to do it all. If you're an independent musician, you're not just an independent musician, you're an independent video editor, you're an independent graphic designer. But I'm a musician, and I'm not good at anything else. I've never been good at anything else. But I'm making do with what I have. Here's what's going to happen to this footage. My iPhone comes with an app called iMovie. iMovie is about as basic of a video editing software that you can have, especially on on a phone instead of a laptop. The only thing you could really do with it is chop up video. And that's what I have, so that's what I will do. If I had access to a more well-equipped video editing software, yeah, my videos probably would be a bit higher quality. If I could afford a really nice lapel microphone, my videos would sound nicer. If I could afford a camera, it wouldn't matter because I don't know anything about cameras, but you know, maybe I'd learn and my videos would look a bit nicer. But again, I'm just making do with what I have. And that's just kind of how I'm operating. Raw and real, I guess. No smoke and mirrors. Now, yeah, I do edit my videos. I edit my videos because I don't script my videos, which means a lot of the time I'm just sat here just thinking what I'm going to say in between each sentence. I just drive out to a nice place with an idea in my head, I set up the camera, and I go. Because if I scripted my videos and I really got into video editing and I learned how to edit them and I bought a microphone and I learned how to probably mix the sound, I wouldn't have any time to do the music. And that's another thing about music content creators, right? You can be scrolling through Instagram and TikTok and see these videos that, they're properly subtitled and the camera works going all over. There's a lot of them use drone shots these days and stuff like that, and the fisheye lens and it, just stuff that if you try to do it on your own, if you learn how to do all that stuff, it would be taken away. It would be distracting from the time that you have to actually make your music. And that's because a lot of the people you see on these platforms, whether they'll tell you it or not, have editors because they have a label and their label is paying them to make this stuff. They're being paid to put their music out in that way, because even record labels know nowadays that TikTok and Instagram Reels are one of the best ways to promote music. So even some artists that are signed have to promote their music that way. I've been waffling about YouTube for enough time now, and I'm probably going to get this back in the timeline and maybe not have come at it with exactly the right approach that I wanted to, and maybe missed out a couple of points. But to summarize, with my YouTube channel, I want it to be an honest reflection of me and to build up a personality to go along with the music. I want it to be a place where I can share my rough ideas. I've been doing that already with posting, videos of songs I've written. I just sit in my car, set up a camera and record. And those videos aren't supposed to be, this is the song, this is the final song, this is the version. When I post a video of me recording or playing an original song, all that is me saying, here's an idea that maybe at some point down the road I'll record and refine. I don't do multiple takes in those videos either. I don't sit down and bang out as many takes as possible till I get the absolute perfect one, because that's a waste of time. That's for when I'm recording it, actually with a microphone, recording the music. If I'm just recording a YouTube video of a song, why would I spend all that time just just trying to get a perfect take when I'm just trying to convey an idea? It doesn't need to be perfect for you to get it. And if you like what you hear then you will definitely like what you hear when I actually sit down and I spend time trying to get it as good as I deem it to be. And I think I'll use that as a segue to get onto the actual music part of it, which I probably should have got onto a lot longer ago, and I spent a long time just waffling. But this video I've been wanting to make this video for quite a while, and just thoughts keep building up, and it's all just coming out. Maybe this is a bad introduction to me and my goals and what I want to do with my YouTube and my music. But I guess whether or not this is a good or bad introduction, this is me, which is what I want to keep hammering home. I'm a waffler, man. I really am. So it's definitely time to address the elephant in the room: the car. Why the car? Well, I'll tell you why. For the YouTube videos and for the music. The reason I record the music in my car is because it's the most well-treated space I have access to. I have a laptop, I have a cheap audio interface and a cheap microphone in a echoey, non-treated bedroom. Sounds awful. I tried for a long time. I think I had this microphone for like a year, and I tried it all around the house, but my house is just, I don't have a space that's really treated for it. So everywhere just gets an absolutely terrible, horrible recording. And I thought it was just my fault. I thought for a long time that I didn't know what I was doing. I also live with my parents, and my dad works from home, so very rarely do I have the time alone in the house to actually get any recording done. One day my parents went out shopping, and I jumped on this chance, and I got all my stuff downstairs and I set it all up. But that's the thing, is that by the time I've set all my stuff up, all half my time is already gone, if they're just nipping to the shop. And I was recording, and I got 1 or 2 takes in. I didn't get through any of them, what I was wanting to record, and they came back, and I was so pissed off because I was so desperately wanting to actually try and fucking make something that I kind of like walked off in a strop. I packed all my stuff up and chucked it in the car, and I recorded like 4 songs, and they all sounded good. And I realized, oh, it's not me, it's just I genuinely don't have a treated space. But the car is a great treated space. There's cushions, I mean, there's reflective windows, but if you don't have anything else, like I don't, if you're just working with what you got, this is ideal. And you don't have to have a big car. This is a Mini. You can do it. And my music sounds like it was recorded in my car, which isn't something that I regret. Probably a bit late to actually explicitly tell you this now if you've never seen anything any other video that I've made, or you haven't heard my music. I make lo-fi music. I make very lo-fi music. I'm hugely inspired by lo-fi experimental rock projects like Ween and sort of DIY punk stuff. I'm just always more intrigued by a song that sounds like it was recorded on a potato than a song that sounds like it was recorded in a complete vacuum where every single bit of the song sounds completely perfect. Hence why it doesn't bother me that I have to record here. And I don't even want to say have to. I get to record here, because if it wasn't here, it'd be in my house. And if it was in my house, it would sound even worse. But I think eventually, if I didn't have a car, I would have started recording in my house anyway, because my desire to create, it cannot be snuffed out. And that's why I've started sharing things that I make. Whether or not the things that I make in terms of production value are as high quality as some people may expect from a song or a YouTube video. Even though I've been invested in lo-fi music for a long time, it took me far too long to realise, in terms of my own music, that a song doesn't have to be expensive to be artistically valuable. That just because I've made something with whatever I have lying around, that doesn't mean that it's any more or less valuable than a Taylor Swift song. Because how expensive your microphone is doesn't dictate the quality of your art. What dictates the quality of your art is the sound that you put into that microphone and how you choose to manipulate them. Your intent, the human touch, is what defines the artistry, the way you choose to present whatever it is that you've recorded. And also, recording in my car, I get to be in places like this. I mean, this isn't the best view to demonstrate that, but you saw at the beginning of the video before this happened and I couldn't record outside anymore because I didn't have a microphone. But you saw the nice view. I get to sit here and record a YouTube video or record a song and just watch horses run by and have the sun shining through the window, and it's lovely. I have the best music studio in the world, and I honestly, I have no desire to upgrade. I love being able to do things the way that I'm doing them, being able to do things the way that I want to do them. And I suppose that's another important point to make in regards to the goal of the whole thing of this, this sort of, I guess, multimedia project at the end of the day, is to find an audience and to be able to share things with people and succeed doing things the way I want to do them. I think I've gone way off track with this video, and I think I think this isn't going to end up being anywhere near as concise as I want it to be, nor do I think this video is going to serve as a good introduction to me at all. I suppose, if anything, this is just me explaining my approach to the way that I'm doing things right now. But this video is supposed to be a manifesto of sorts, and I forgot to basically the whole video link back to the 2 key words I said at the start of the video. So I'm going to try and save it at the end. I'm going to try and bring it back around and summarize the whole thing so that for both of us this doesn't just end up being like a waste of time and just like a waffle sesh. The overall goal with the music that I'm making and the YouTube videos that I'm putting out is to always present myself with sincerity, never put on a mask, never play a character, always present myself as I am and the music as it is, and to honestly document the process of songwriting, the process of recording, my thought process throughout all of it, things that I've got going on in my head, things that I just fancy making videos about. I just want to be a person in an online landscape that's populated by characters and kind of faceless or personalityless entities that just produce product for you to consume every year, 2 years. And I want to remind the listener and other musicians that the process is a part of the art, and so much is lost if the only thing that you end up sharing is the final product. I don't know if much of what I've said is coherent, or if much of what I've said will make sense in the edit. But I suppose if it's not, then I suppose you can move on. You know, you don't have to think about me or my music or my goals ever again. But if you made it to this point in the video, I assume there's something that maybe caught your attention about me and what I have to say and what I'm trying to do. But if you didn't feel like I really explained it too well, which that's probably totally valid, maybe just stick around and just see what I mean. Filmmakers always say, show, don't tell. So I suppose I should do a bit more showing now. I've told you everything that I can think of, maybe not in the exact order or with the exact intent that I would have liked to present this video with. I don't even know really what I'm saying, but I have a vision for lack of a better word, I suppose. I know what I want to do, and if you stick around, maybe that will become clear to you as well. Yeah, I think I'll call it there. New videos at 5 p.m. every Sunday. See you next week. Wait, I'm not done. This lighting is kind of funny, but I think that the camping light is going to work better. So I just finished editing the video that you just watched. As you can see, it's very late. Everyone in my house is asleep. But I thought it would be dishonest of me to upload this video with the title My Manifesto without actually including a manifesto in the video, without having written one. So I've gone ahead and written one. I pulled out a page from a notebook and just wrote some stuff down. I didn't have a lot of time because I'm going to a music festival tomorrow, and if I want this video to be out by Sunday, it's got to be done now. So that's why I've come out to my car, and I'm just gonna read to you my manifesto. I believe in music, expensive and cheap, hi-fi and lo-fi, serious and silly, guitar-based or otherwise. More than anything, I believe in music that is brought into existence with passion, regardless of circumstance. That is to say, I'll be believing in music for as long as the people behind it also share that belief. I believe in music, and that's why I make it. I used to think music had to adhere to a certain standard of technical proficiency to be considered alongside all the quote-unquote real music, and that I just didn't possess the skills nor the knowledge to produce work that could reach such a standard. I let preconceived notions stop me from realizing my creative potential for a long time. But at some point, I found the courage to create without doubt and share without apprehension. When I met Jeff Rosenstock after a gig and told him that I wouldn't be making music if not for having seen the Bomb the Music Industry documentary, the absolute sincerity in his voice when he exclaimed, "Fuck yeah, dude," as he threw his arms up to give me a double high five, it stirred my soul. Ever since, I've been dreaming about a day when I can stand opposite a nervous, sweaty kid with big dreams holding my arms up, waiting for him to reciprocate my gesture. Now I want to communicate to anyone who dreams of being a musician but has fallen victim to the same preconceived notions that I once did, that you don't need natural-born talent or years of experience, vast technical knowledge, or expensive equipment to have an idea, and you don't need to know exactly how to realize that idea to try. I believe ideas can be as beautiful as fully realized pieces of art, and that's why I share both. By documenting my process, both artistic and of thought, I want to prove that art isn't just for those who've inherited a creative talent from a parent, or for those who've been at it since they could walk and talk. Art is accessible to anyone with a heart that beats. I want to show you that you already have everything you need to get started. I want to help turn aspiring musicians into musicians and turn disinterested people into aspiring musicians, because I believe in music.